And welcome back. Here we are once again with more The Test, where we are answering a series of questions. What more do you want? What more context do you need when we're answering questions with a pixel person and their bloody doll and their bloody teddy bear and their bloody handprints and their bloody arrow and their bloody floor and their bloody help and their blood bucket? Anyways, we're starting off today's session with very interesting questions. Are you sure you want the answers you seek? And I'll be honest, there's a lot of questions that I don't necessarily want to know the answer to. I would rather be sheltered into a false sense of security, you know? I don't know if I could ever... I know a part of me wants to stand up and say, yes, I can take whatever you throw at me. Whatever truth of the universe, just let me have it. I wish to be enlightened. I wish to be out of the Platonic cave. Out of, away from the fires and the shadows on the wall. But I guess more socially, I am a little insecure. So in that sort of way, I know that there are some answers I still do wish to seek. I do wish to know, you know, the origin of the universe. How did we come to be? Is there a higher power? I am fascinated by that sort of stuff. Is there life out there? You know? Anyone? Although I don't want to know if there are ghosts around me. I would rather there not be. I would rather not know. And I would rather there not be ghosts. I don't want to know the answer to that. So there are definitely answers that I don't want to know. So how do I answer this? Are you sure you want the answers you see? Because it's a yes and no. I would also like to know if I'm good enough to do, you know, writing or streaming. Let me know now before I waste my life. Before I throw away my one chance at life for nothing. If I'm not gonna, you know, make it, or if, you know, people aren't gonna show up. No, I mean, not that, you know, I'm too concerned about it right now, but do let me know. So I am kind of torn between answering this as yes or no. So I guess it would have to be like, could I eventually own up to the question that is being asked and just steel myself with resolve to hear the answer? And I would like to think that yes, I could. Would I struggle to? Yeah, I would. But for now, this is tough. I don't know. I don't want it to sound like I'm grandstanding when I say yes, but I would eventually have to resolve myself and face the heat. And that is something that I would, you know, we'd all have to do it. So I would just have to accept that reality and then go forth with what I've been given. So I think I would eventually, you know, come to want to know the truth of matters. Are you afraid of spiders? Yes, I think that's reasonable. Spiders are dangerous to you. Not all spiders, obviously, but you should definitely be afraid of like brown recluses and stuff. So, and stuff that can kill you in a single bite or do major bodily damage to you. I think that's just logical, like natural. I wouldn't say as a whole that I'm afraid of the concept of a spider, but I do think it's logical to say that yes, you should be afraid of spiders. They're not giving me the chills or anything. I'm not getting spooked out freaking about them. I'm not arachnophobic by any means. But I am I like to think of myself as a realist and say, you should definitely be afraid of what spiders can do to you. Spiders themselves, though, yeah, I'm afraid of their potential to harm me. But whether or not I'm actually afraid of spiders, their body doesn't faze me. Like, I'm not like, ooh, 8 legs and a belly. Like, come on. I would say it's definitely, you know, it's logical to have a fear of spiders, knowing what they can do to you, knowing that they can creep up on you at night. It is a little spooky. If you knew you would emerge unscathed, would you jump into molten lava? Would you still feel the heat, though? If I knew I would emerge unscathed, I have to assume that just means, like, completely unharmed, right? Unscathed is an interesting word, because I'm trying to think of any other implication that goes beyond just being unscathed or being in the state of unscathedness. I mean, if there's really, what are the other downsides? Like, no physical harm, that's out of the question. Would I still technically feel the heat of the lava? Cause, you know, you can feel a light breeze, right? And it doesn't scathe you in any way, but you can still feel it. So I'm wondering if you were to jump into molten lava, if you'd still feel the heat. And knowing how extreme that heat is, I'm gonna have to say no, I would not. Would you consider yourself to be fat? Yeah, sorry. Would you say that you have lots of charisma? I don't know. I feel like that's something for other people to decide. But for me personally, I think it's something I need to work on. So right now, maybe not lots of charisma, but maybe I'm getting there. Just not right now. Have you ever wished you could be temporarily frozen? Maybe. Maybe it would depend on the situation. Maybe frozen, like, maybe just to feel it once. I don't know if I've ever wished I could be temporarily frozen. It has not occurred to me, other than in this moment. But considering this is a past tense question, I would say I have not considered or wanted myself to be frozen. Or temporarily frozen. No. This is all very interesting. I sure hope this person doesn't say like, ooh, you've been contradictory. Did you realize that the last letter of the previous 5 questions when put together spelled the name Satan? No. It never occurred to me, as a matter of fact. Does that make you uncomfortable? I'm playing this at 2 a.m. Yeah. Are you good at finding hidden puzzles or clues? Well, I mean, I don't know. I would not know. Well, I kind of would know. I have played a lot of Zero Escape and Escape Simulator and a bunch of other, you know, puzzle games. But finding clues and or hidden puzzles, it does specify finding. I would almost just say no. I feel like I'm not that good with it, despite how many games I play. We'll just say no for now. My my investigation skills are not too good. Are you now wondering what other hidden messages are placed within these questions? I actually was. Have you been entirely honest with your questions or answers thus far? I think so. I mean, I've sat here and debated with myself. I've tried to arrive to a reasonable conclusion that encompasses my honesty. So, yeah, I would. Are you afraid of the consequences for answering questions dishonestly? Maybe a little bit. I do fear something spooky happening. Being at 2 a.m. Were you aware that there could be potential consequences for answering dishonestly? No, I was not. Are you wondering how these questions began to take a strange turn? Yes. Would you consider yourself captivated? I would consider myself cautiously captivated. Like, if I get jump scared, I'm noping right the hell out. So don't do that. Don't do that, game. Very interesting. Would you consider yourself to be brave? God. Not really. No, I'm very meek. Do you view yourself as someone with above average intelligence? I know I can be very dumb. I know I can be opaque, so to speak. But I will go ahead and toot my own horn. I did graduate from like a top 150 in the nation school. I did graduate from college. I think that is well above average. I would say I am a little learned. So perhaps, at least knowing that the people I've had to deal with are just comparing myself to them. As much as I hate making the comparison and making myself seem, ooh, so smart. Yeah, people are dumb. I guess so. Have you been looking for hidden messages in these questions? Not really. I didn't really cross. Well, actually, not specifically. I've only wondered about the hidden messages, but no, I have not pursued. Are you wondering which hidden messages you may have missed? Yeah, that's fair. Have you begun to wonder how long this test will take or how many questions exist in this session? I have been wondering that, as a matter of fact. Would you consider yourself to be a patient person? Yes. Most of my life has just been waiting, so yeah, I'll consider myself patient. Do most humans annoy you? I try not to let them. I think at some point, sometimes they do. I also realize that that is probably just me having a bad day, or there's some sort of misconception between me or myself and another person that might annoy me. I have gotten annoyed at at a few people. At some Even some of my closest friends I've been annoyed with. So I would say that, yeah. I don't know if their existence annoys me, though. Like, most humans, I haven't even met most humans to have an opinion. So no, most humans annoy me. I think that's just going to be a no on the fact that I have not met most humans. And even the ones I've interacted with have been, you know, either an average or above experience. So I don't think most humans annoy me, no. Do you prefer animals to people? No, I don't think so. I think people are like, you know, we still, even if I did answer the previous question as like me being annoyed, or that there might be some annoyance in people, I think I probably prefer the company of my friends and family more than animals. At least in the long-term scale of things. I love my pets, don't get me wrong. But I do think our longer lasting relationships with humans are much more valuable. So I'm gonna say no. Do you believe in magic? Not really. I mean, every time I have tried to like conceive of a way that magic could exist, I know it's just unexplained science, really. So as much as I try to keep an open mind, I think it's better to keep an open mind about how the science works behind whatever magic you could pull out. So no. Do you believe in God or the existence of some form of higher power? I would consider myself, at the very least, agnostic. Maybe dipping into light Christianity because that's my background. But yeah, I would say yes. And I know what this leads to, because the previous question just asked me about magic, and in a way you could call miracles magic almost, like the magic of fate almost. And I know God performs lots of miracles or whatever story you might believe in, whatever religion you might fall under. But I do think that you can have a God that is purely scientific based, if that makes sense. Or not scientific based. I know God technically, when you're trying to define God, he does technically fall outside of the limits of what we know of the universe. But I do think you could create a world as God where everything could come together scientifically, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm kind of talking gibberish. Like, this is, I studied this question, I mean, for a long time. Like, I have actually, at my college, like, I took multiple philosophy courses on basically this question: how valid is this? And yeah, there was some interesting discussions and dialogues and discoveries along the way. But I wouldn't necessarily put God and magic together. I think you could have a logical world in which a god could theoretically construct. So I don't think you necessarily have to put God and magic together. But I do believe there is something up there. Do you fear death? We'll save this one for next time on Hooky Hour. Man, this is intense. This is very intense. I'm kind of sweating. I can't deny. I am like starting to look over my shoulders, look in the camera, make sure that there's nothing looking at me. But yeah, I'll see y'all next time on Hooky Hour. See ya.